The middle powers must act together because if we're not at the table, we're on the menu.
Somewhere Europe has to grow out of the mindset that Europe's problems are the world's problems, but the world's problems are not Europe's problems.
चुन चुन करके हिसाब लेना ये मेरी फितरत है.
Why should it be a problem? If I'm smart enough to have multiple options, you should be admiring me.
भारत झुकने वाला भी नहीं.
The rise of India will be determined by India. It will be determined by our strength, not by the mistakes of others.
The old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You might have heard in the intro that old order is not coming back. See, for many years, decades actually, America has been the most powerful military force on the earth. Yet time and again, though, overwhelmingly military superiority has failed to produce political victories. Whether it is Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq, and now Iran. Now, in fact, I think that the story seems no different. In fact, the story actually here is, in case of Iran, is much worse because Iran may have effectively brought an end to America's 70-year Middle East campaign. And this is why I said that the old order is not coming back. But the most important question is that what went wrong in this whole entire scene? See, America and Israel, they launched the Operation Epic Fury with bombing after bombing, destroying cities after cities, bombing the children's school, lots and lots, 116, 117 girls died in that thing. All that was done. But outcome was nothing. Outcome didn't change. So what exactly happened? See, why outcome didn't change is because destroying things is easy. Destroying missile sites is easy if you can. Destroying air defenses is easy. Destroying infrastructure is easy. And above all, what's easiest is that getting on Truth Social and bragging about things that have never happened. Or typing your wishful thinking like Iran's navy has been destroyed, Iran's air force has been completely destroyed, Iran's missile sites have been destroyed. If everything is destroyed, then why Strait of Hormuz was closed? It's a very simple question, right? Clearly things were not going the way everyone made it out to be. Things were not going as planned. Because bombing things, lying on Truth Social, doing all that propaganda, trying to at least do the propaganda is a lot easier, but changing the political reality is hard. Khamenei is still in charge. IRGC is still doing what they're supposed to be doing and everything else. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the 8 strategic failures, okay, that explain why America struggled against Iran despite having every military advantage imaginable. And in fact, if you go look at the map, you find that only hostile country against America was Iran over there. Other than that, all the countries that are there in that region are friendly countries, or at least they are friendly on paper. So let's talk about that, guys. Let's get going. Let's get started. Please do like and subscribe, okay? And this is gonna be a very important video, so please do stay with me till the end. And I'm not gonna take too long, okay? So yeah, let's go. Let's get going. See, reason number 1 is Pete Hegseth. inexperienced leadership, whether it is the commander in chief, Donald Trump, or whether it is the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. Both are inexperienced players in this thing. Okay, wars are won by strategy, not by press conferences. Pete Hegseth's problem was that he couldn't figure out whether to be a yes man to Donald Trump or to tell him the truth. Now, if he tells the truth, then he's screwed. And if he doesn't tell the truth, and if he's yes man, then also he's screwed because then country is screwed. But he chose to be the yes man because he has a family to feed. Now, so whether Trump was making announcement, whether Pete Hegseth was making announcement, sometimes Israel was making announcements, so nobody could tell actually who is in charge, really. And messages that were coming out were all disconnected. And nobody could tell whether it is Netanyahu who is in charge, whether it is Donald Trump that's in charge, or it is Pete Hegseth who is doing something else. And that happens when the leadership is weak. Okay, so military campaigns requires unified political leadership. The leadership where your president has diplomatic experience, president has good rapport diplomatically with the world leaders. Then also you have to have a very experienced uh, secretary of war who actually understands what really war is and has at least some experience in commanding some sort of command like CENTCOM or something. Had to be at the admiral level or some top guy, somebody who has the experience in doing these things. And that's the reason number one. Okay, then the reason number two I think is very important. This is where uh, the Donald Trump's inexperience shows up. And the reason number two is terrible timing. Now, if you look into it, Donald Trump actually, when he won the election, then everything started. Everything was like a honeymoon phase for the first month. It was honeymoon phase. Then from the day one, tariffs. He started tariffing everyone. He made lots of enemies. In fact, friendly countries also. He made these friendly countries his enemy. And tariffs created the economic uncertainty. Then he got into this confrontation while facing pressure on multiple fronts. Then, so tariff backfired. Court simply ruled out that it's all illegal. Then came your illegal immigration. Now nobody even is even talking about ICE. What happened to ICE? ICE melted, and nobody knows what exactly is going on. Then you have Save America Act hasn't been passed yet. Then and what's interesting about this whole thing is that people don't even know that how this guy won trifecta when actually uh, he can't even there are Republicans. All the Republicans are not unified against Democrats to vote for something. But anyways, then if you look at the interest rates, he had to battle Jerome Powell for whole entire year to lower the interest rate. And guess what? Interest rate never came down. I mean, he tried buying the interest rate, $250 billion worth. Guess what? It barely scratched the surface. Then look at Russia Ukraine peace efforts. He said that, okay, there will be Russia Ukraine peace and this and that. But guess what? He invited President Vladimir Putin to Alaska. Putin came. But that didn't go well either. Why? Because Putin came. Putin said that, okay, next time in Moscow, come on, in Moscow, I came to your territory, let's come to mine. Chickened out. Trump straight up chickened out. Then he ruined his relationship with India. He started to unnecessarily go into the mode, oh, Russian oil, Russian oil. India needs to stop buying Russian oil. That's none of your business. Now, why I'm saying timing of it is all wrong? Because what he could have actually done is that he could have waited for 2 years to take any action against Iran. First, he should have focused on the economy and all these fronts and domestic fronts. In fact, if he could have done something against this whole voter fraud and all that, at least I think that he could have been a hero by saving the American democracy. But it seems like that lots of things are not going the way they're supposed to go. Look at Doge. The moment Doge started to peel out all the layers, nobody knows what happened. Right after that, Elon Musk is gone. Elon Musk is gone. Elon Musk got into fight with Scott Bessent. All that things happened. Then came the file stuff, and I'm not gonna name any file, but we all know what file I'm talking about. And all that file stuff happened. And but um, all in all, let's not go into all that because that is a political matter, and I'm not here to discuss politics. Point is very simple. The timing of it all was terrible. He opened multiple fronts while fighting all these wars alone by himself. Because you see, your administration cannot fight a war for you if everything they try to do for you, or when they try to give you the right advice, you always take it the wrong way. And there have been many instances, I don't even have to explain those. Now, in this whole entire thing, what Donald Trump did is that he opened another front with Iran. And I think that his whole thought process with Iran was that it will be a quick in and out, like Venezuela or like what India did to Pakistan. Within 88 hours, Pakistan surrendered, and Pakistan is a nuclear power. Let's not say nuclear power per se, but more so like they have nuclear weapons. Okay, they have nukes. So so probably Donald Trump thought that that's how things are gonna play out. In 88 hours, Iran will surrender. Iran doesn't even have nukes. They are going to build one. So let's do that. And probably whatever he will do in Iran may actually wipe out his slate clean with all the mess up he had made in past 500 days of his presidency. All the debacle. But unfortunately, Iran seemed to be a whole different ball game. And that's why I said that it was a terrible timing. Then third point is that lack of war preparedness. Now, whenever you get into this type of situation, and when you know that your military is going to get into these things, then you have to be prepared for war. If you are spending almost $1 trillion in defense budget, then that budget should be justified with war preparedness at least, right? You call yourself Defense Department of War, but what is that? Department of losing war, or Department of winning war, or Department of lack of war preparedness? What is it? Then spending money and preparing for war is not the same thing. You have to understand this. There is a stark difference between the two. You can spend loads and loads of money, but if there is no accountability where that money is going, well, that's what Doge was supposed to be doing, but Doge never got to enter the Department of Defense. Then if you look into the missile inventories, it was a concern from the get-go. You spend $1 trillion on defense budget, but you cannot build warships as fast as China, and China's budget is give take 400 or $500 billion. That's about it. Then came the interceptors stockpile. Israel lacked interceptors. America lacked interceptors. America is still low on interceptors. So where all that money is going though? That is the concern. That's the whole point. So where is the preparedness here? And then other thing is that the whole thought process behind this is that, okay, it's like a textbook thing that, okay, we are going to fight a war, let's go send our aircraft carriers, all right, let's send few other ships, all right, okay, now what do? Let's lie. And then what you see is a complete chaos. So this is what exactly happened. So um, when they were not prepared, look at all these bases in the Middle East. What happened? Every CENTCOM top notch radar, every defense system, everything has been completely destroyed. It's all gone. And with what? With $20,000, give take $5 to $10,000 worth of drones with motorcycle engines. That's what Iran did. Iran fought a asymmetric warfare. That was something that America did not. America and Israel, they were not ready for it. There were different battlefield, different rules, different objectives. So you have to be prepared for that. Other thing is this: the whole entire Middle East in itself is I would say it's a minefield. Okay, it's so much oil, so much natural gas that you bomb one place, that's gonna burn forever. So you have to be very careful with these things. Then comes the reason number four. Reason number four is the bad intelligence. That first problem was that Washington believed that military pressure would trigger internal unrest. Or there was internal unrest already, and you know how there was this whole slogan that was going on: the help is on the way, help is on the way. They thought that by doing this military campaign, by starting this campaign, the rest of the job will be finished by the local public that is protesting. But who knew? We don't even know if that was the real public doing it, or it was just Israeli propaganda that they just grabbed few hundred, say, protesters, then multiplied that thing, forged that video, and showed it to President Trump. Who knows? So that's intelligence failure. Then, uh, uh, and then other failure was that they all thought that the protest would weaken people and topple the regime. All that will happen, but that never happened. Right? Iranian military remained operational. President Trump and everybody else kept saying the navy is gone, there this is gone, there that is gone, and this and that, blah blah blah. But Iranians kept on firing the missiles, kept on firing the drones, kept on making the drones, kept on making missiles, all that. And all that happens because of the bad intelligence. In fact, there was this case where they were trying to steal the uranium, but we all know what happened there, right? It failed, epic fail. And this is called desperate move. Then we come to the fifth reason. Fifth reason is part of all the four reasons. The no clear objective. If you look into the objective, you will listen to what is the objective, what is your going in strategy objective when you go into the war, and what is the point where you say that, okay, it's over, we are done, let's get out. That was no war. If you are fighting a war without any objective, then what's going to happen is that you're going to get into that loop, and you're going to get into the war of attrition. And especially if you're fighting a asymmetric warfare where you have to spend lots and lots of money to attack your enemy, while your enemy is just using some $10,000 drone to destroy your bases, destroy your billions and billions of dollars of bases, then yeah, there is a problem. So what exactly was the objective? President Trump sometimes they said that nuclear rollback, sometimes somebody said regime change, sometimes somebody said the securing Hormuz, then sometimes they said protecting Israel, then sometimes it was restoring deterrence, sometimes punishing Iran. An answer seemed to change every week. So success actually becomes impossible when the objective constantly moves. You keep moving the goalpost. So mission drift, this whole uh, plan, the strategy, all this drift. If you the moment you start to drift from your strategy, your game is over. Chances are the mission that is there, mission drift basically, it becomes your strategic failure. That's how it is. Okay. Then comes down to the reason number 6. This is classic actually, the lack of international support. If you're fighting a war, you are saying that you're going to stop Iran from having nuclear weapons. Okay. Then why you didn't stop North Korea from having nuclear weapons? Why? Because Iran will have nuclear weapons and oil? And is it because North Korea didn't have oil, so North Korea having nuclear weapon was not your concern? What is it? Or Pakistanis have terrorists and all that. Pakistanis have nuclear weapons. So why Pakistan is not your concern? So which one is it, right? So when you are playing this double game, then it's hard to get the international support, which is what every major war requires. Major war requires coalition. And America has struggled to build one. They used to have NATO, but NATO remained cautious because of growing Muslim population in Europe. Look at United Kingdom, what's going on in London. Look at France, what's going on in France. All these countries, they are all screwed literally. Nobody wants to say a word because that's their vote bank. So that's why NATO remained out of it. And then India stayed out of it. They were like, okay, it's your problem. You go do what you got to do. And then Gulf states, to which America actually claimed to protect. And Gulf states actually didn't do anything. Yeah, there were some news that from Saudi Arabia and all, they're doing it. There all the sorties are being done, but none of it was happening because Saudis were all chickened out the day Iranians will start to attack us or UAE. Even though Emirates actually they took most of the brunt, but even they were not very happy about this whole entire situation. And America appeared increasingly isolated. So what happened? The political isolation reduced the strategic leverage. This is why there was no minesweepers for them. They asked for minesweepers, nobody gave them the minesweepers. Simple. That's a simple thing. Then comes the reason number 7. Truth social diplomacy. I think this is one of the things that President Trump needs to stop doing. See, diplomacy requires discipline. Discipline in words, discipline in your actions, discipline in your thought process, discipline your interaction, everything. Okay? Now, Trump's communication strategy is more of like create chaos. He talks big, throws those big words. Oh, we are doing $500 billion of trade deal with South Korea. A month later, South Korea says that no, there is no deal. We don't even have that much of a GDP to do that kind of deal. Same thing, Japan. Japan was like, no, we don't have any deals. It's all talk. We don't care about it. Pretty much any trade deal that was out there that President Trump bragged about, none of them actually materialized. That's the reality. Okay. Then the same thing was happening with the Iran war. When you're typing all kinds of crap on Truth Social, then that can be used against you. People, your enemy actually reads it. They understand your psyche. They understand your psychology. What are you thinking? What's going on in your mind? President of the United States, when President of the United States is posting some long Bible sized crap on Truth Social. And at that too, at 3 o'clock or 3 a.m. In at night, like that, then what do you think your enemy is thinking? All this creates mixed signals, confusion, and the whole the foreign policy, running the foreign policy from Truth Social is just a bad idea. Okay, and we don't know what else is being leaked through Truth Social, right? And what happened is that threats basically they often appeared before the actual decisions. People started, oh, this is what he's going to do. So all these countries they started to prepare for it. Yeah, or your opponent basically they gained insight into your thinking. Information became noise. Noise creates uncertainty, and in diplomacy, in the foreign relations, uncertainty is the worst thing. It not only that, it creates problem in the global economy. It creates problem in your stock market. It creates problem all over the place. So you have to just be the president. You don't have to go and fight this whole propaganda warfare by yourself. Okay, and that's one of the main problems. Then comes your reason number 8, and the final reason: losing the information war. Now, wars are fought in minds as much as on battlefields. We all know this. Iran's focus was survival. And if Iran would consider it a victory, if it survived, it can get a deal and whatnot, and Iran is good. Iran's focus was on resistance. That okay, whatever you do, you can brag about it that you're gonna go boots on ground and this on ground and that, but we will stop you. Iran's focus was that Iran is a victim, and they portrayed themselves as an underdog. And if you notice, they only bombed UAE because UAE is the financial hub for all the Western partners. So they never bombed Saudi Arabia. After some time, they start bombing Saudi Arabia or Qatar or anywhere else. Why? Because Iranians knew that somehow Qataris may play some sort of role in the trade, in the nuclear deal and all these talks, and that's exactly what happened. Then came the warfare. It seemed like the President Trump was alone fighting this war, the whole information warfare. When actually Iran used all its embassies to post all kinds of crap on Truth Social, sorry, on X, then on TikTok, on YouTube, you just name it. And to top it off, actually, there was Democrats. Uh, how do I say it? Democrats? Democrat-owned media. They started to post about these. You if you go there and you find that all these podcasts are filled with these things that, oh, this war is almost done. Trump has lost the war. This is insane, and this and that. Israel is bad. Iran is good. All that. It was all just propaganda. Something that I think Republicans and Donald Trump could not do effectively. So America struggled to maintain a consistent message. But what happened in the end? That America won the strikes but lost control of the whole story. Israelis tried it too. Israelis tried it, but Israel does not have that kind of propaganda machine either. I mean, think about it. Like you have 54 countries, Islamic countries, doing all these things. Where what Israel is gonna do, right? So, long story short, America had more aircraft, more ships, more money, more technology, all that. Iran had what? Geography, patience, political resilience, and Iran had very clear cut objectives that, hey, you did any of these things, we are going to bomb your allies that are in the region. Each and every one of them. And that's exactly what Iran did. And finally, the ceasefire happened because Iran finally said that, okay, if you continue to bombing us, then what we are going to do as a last resort is eventually that before we fall down, we are going to nuke Israel. That's what Iranians straight up told Pakistanis, actually. Okay, this is not me making it. You go do the research, you will find it. That Iranians have straight up said that Iran already has the uranium, right? Iran already has almost 400 kilograms of uranium, enriched uranium. Now they don't have the nuclear weapons, but they can make it. They said that they can make the nuclear weapon and test it just as a deterrence. And also, they can make dirty bomb out of it if things don't stop. They can make dirty bomb out of it and then bomb Israel with that. So that's what actually happened behind the scene on this whole peace talk thing. Okay, and these are the 8 blunders or the 8 reasons for losing the Iran war. Okay, this is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in another video.